Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Elite Real Estate Podcast for another Friday morning here, an inspirational Friday morning, and I'm hoping for that anyway. So we are joined by another special guest this morning. I'm very excited to bring her on here in a second, but welcome from KGCI Radio. We are live streaming everywhere: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I think I've named all the places that we are, and again, KGCI Radio live this morning here at 7:30. So. We are going to go bring in a special guest here in a minute. She's an EXP agent and very, very awesome guest to have on this morning. I'm going to get a lot of inspiration from her. Danielle Dunham, everybody. Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I'm great. Hi, everyone.
We'll give you our applause meter there. Well, yeah, welcome to this. Oh, my goodness. Somehow you just went off screen again, and that's okay. We'll wait till she comes back in. We've been dealing with some technical things this morning on the computer end, and you guys know how we do technical difficulties on the show. So Danielle will be right back with us, but I'm very excited to have her in. And I'm just going to leave her name there because I know she's coming right back in. So, but Danielle's going to join us this morning. We're going to talk about the Women's Impact Network and the things that are available here at EXP and the EXP One groups. That are inside of EXP and all the cool things that are happening there. So, but the Women's Impact Network, Danielle is a big part of that here. She's one of the representatives here in the state of Michigan, and she is back and on screen with us.
Hey, guys.
There you go. Back again. Yeah, I was saying when you bossed off for a second there that we've been dealing with some technical difficulties this morning, but
yes, we're trying to get it together.
That's what we do. I said it's what real estate agents do is we just put things together, right? We get through it somehow, one way or another.
Yeah. Oh, yep.
So welcome to the show again, and let's talk. I want you to introduce yourself. I've done my measly little intro of you, but talk to me about how you got into the business. Like how did all this come about? Because no real estate agent dreams of being a real estate agent when they're kids.
Well, I kind of did. So I am a second generation realtor, right? So I grew up in a real estate office. I'm probably just like your kids. I was in my dad's office. I was going to showings on Saturdays. After school, I had to go to the office and do my homework and then go home. So I grew up as a real estate kid. So I'm not going to say I had a deep love for it, but it was definitely something I thought that I was going to enter into as an adult. But my dad actually passed away when I was 16. So not saying it had escaped me, but that was also around the time when the real estate market crashed. So it was just a totally different market. I graduated in 2006. It was kind of bad during that time. And then, my progression up to 21 and things like that. So I went to college, got into healthcare, absolutely love healthcare. Was a healthcare analyst for Medicare and Medicaid, worked with doctors throughout the inner city of Detroit, and just helped them get into their EMR system, very similar to our CRM. And I was kind of, healthcare tech. Absolutely loved it. Didn't have any problems. Love my career field. It wasn't that. It's actually when I bought my first house.
Okay.
I went to, was going to see houses. It just reminded me of that time. I bought my first house. I was pretty young. I was 26, turning 27. And when I bought my first house, I'm a researcher. I'm a Googler. I'm going to look up. So I went to homebuyers class. I looked into down payment assistance. Everybody from that homebuyer class is the exact people I called when I was ready to buy. My uncle at the time was a broker. So, of course, he helped me and was my realtor. So I bought my first house and it was just like, dang, I would really enjoy to do this. Like, it's like, it was kind of like I don't know many people my age who owns a home. I know a lot of people don't know about these down payment programs. This is 2016.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people don't know about these down payment programs. Like, at the time I was buying my house, they were giving you $50,000 to buy a house in Detroit. Not saying I didn't want to live in Detroit, but I was like, some people do. So $50,000. Like now I'm just like, oh my God, I should have bought a house in Detroit. Yeah. Like, my daughter was young at the time and I was just like, oh, Wanted to I looked up schools and actually they was giving you 15,000 to buy a home. So I chose Livonia, which was a great choice. But you know, I just knew people didn't know this information because if it was, I just felt like it was readily available, if people would be jumping on buying a house or they'll be buying a home. So it came from a place of just wanting to help people, right? 'Cause I honestly, I'm so far removed. Way older at this time. I don't know how much real estate agent. My dad never showed me his check, so I didn't know how much real estate agents made. So it was just something I thought I could do on my spare time. I would love to go see houses. I think I can help people. So that's what I got into. I got my license literally a month and a half after I closed on my house. So December 2016, I was a licensed agent.
It's it's
Uh,
it's funny. I've heard that story. It's an incredible story, right? And
uh-huh.
you said you grew up with it. You saw your dad doing it, all
hmm
that stuff, and then like it's like the epiphany just came back to you, like just by going through the process yourself. You're like, but
hmm
the one thing you said, and I want everybody to hear what you said. I love helping people,
hmm
and that is the difference maker. That's it. That's the difference
That's
maker.
it.
That is it.
And
That's what we do.
that's what we do. That's what we do. And when you have I always say your passion will meet your purpose. And like even with healthcare, I felt like I was helping people. When I made the decision to transfer, I mean to kind of just leave healthcare and go straight into real estate, it really was because I had reached such a level in corporate America to where I wasn't really physically helping people anymore. And I felt like the greater reward came for real estate because I actually felt like, oh, I'm taking this person who didn't even believe they can buy a house and they're buying a house and they're crying at closing day. I'm like, oh no, this is how I can help people better. Right. And of course, the money was a little better too. um, so I always came, I always got into real estate with just that, right? In every level of real estate, it has always been how can I help?
And I lost you on screen again, Danielle. So yeah, so straight. I mean, guys, listen. The one thing you need to hear, the message that you need to continue to hear, and the guests that we've had on, all of them, the successful ones, have all said the same thing again and again. It's all about helping people, and that's what our business is, right? Yes, we sell houses and help people buy houses, but at the end of the day, it is helping people.
That.
And she's back.
Yeah. So honestly, with just that, right? I didn't know how much I was gonna make. I didn't come here like I'm gonna be a top producer. I didn't know what capping was, okay? I really did. I just was like, I just want to help as many people as I can. And I literally first year was kind of like, oh, okay, I post this and this and this. I got probably close 2 or 3 deals. I did a lot of rentals. But I mean, the next year I was like, okay, let me get serious. One, I'm not about to use my paycheck to pay for real estate fees. I at least got to pay for my real estate fees. So if it's a rental, if it's a house, whatever, I have to do something in real estate because I'm not using my personal. And back then I was avid saver. A percentage of my check went to my savings account. Another percentage went to my mortgage account. Like, I mean, not saying I'm not, but I was very financially minded. So to me, this is something you want to pursue. Well, you gotta pay for itself, right? So that was like my motivation to get busy. So if I couldn't get someone to buy a house, I was like, well, I'm gonna do enough rentals in 2016, 2017. It was easy to do rentals, right? It's a little
Yeah.
difficult this time. So I mean, I was making like 2,500. I mean, $3,000 in rentals, right? So to me, I'm like, oh, this is great money. But of course, with that, it comes, I'm promoting myself. And this is back when you have to do all the fancy stuff on social media. Like I'm literally on Facebook just typing in posts. Hey, do you know that Detroit has Mishta and Mishta you can get 7,500 to buy a home? Hey, like I mean, just education. I mean, just what I'm telling my story. Like a lot of realtors don't understand how important their stories are, how important it is to be authentic. Like, I'm just saying, like, hey, you can buy a house. I bought a house as a single mother with a 3-year old. My credit wasn't the best. I actually sat down for a year, got my credit together. Saved money, and I was able to buy a house. Like I just told my story. As a new agent, I think a lot of agents are not confident, right? because they feel like they got to know everything. As an agent that's been in this business almost 10 years, I still have to learn new things all the time. I'm always constantly learning. So like my confidence didn't come from, oh yeah, because I go to every meet, I'm able to go to every class and every training at the office, and it didn't come from that. My confidence came from because I just bought a house and I knew the process. Oh yeah, you got to get an inspection, and with the inspection, I'm telling my story. I didn't. Nobody sat down and told me how to talk to a client and how to explain how to do inspection. I'm just telling them what I experienced, right? But in a realtor tone. Yeah, yeah, and then you're gonna get the appraisal in the house. If it doesn't appraise, you can debate it because I had to go through that.
Right.
And then if you have repairs, like I just told my story, right? My first lender was a lender I went through to buy my house because I didn't know any. But I always was confident. One, I knew one thing. I had a pure heart. I really truly wanted to help them. I was not going to sell anybody a bad house. Like, I don't care. I didn't go into it, and I think this is what saved me. And I don't want to put this on anyone else, but I didn't go into it with a monetary mind. So it was more so helping people. So if the house, I like, in I want to be careful with my words because you are, as a salesman, you are supposed to sell a house. But my thing was always, if it doesn't work out, if you're not totally in love with it, let's not do it. And that may not be the best advice, but to me, it was. It was the best thing I could, you know, uh, but what made me feel good about it? Because I had a job, I'm still working, I made really good money. So hey, we don't got it. You don't like this house? Okay, we go see some more. And also, I'm energized in the business. I'm new. I love seeing houses. Come on, let's go. Um, so that was my thing. Like, so hey, the inspection is too many repairs. Let's get it away. But it also taught me to be a good agent because it wasn't about the money, right? So it's going to make me advocate for my client. Oh no, you need to fix this. Or hey, we can walk away from this if they're not willing to do that, or this is a great area. Or hey, I know you said you want to buy a house here, but let's talk about it. What area do you live in? Where your kids go to school? Like, let's think about what makes sense. I'm like, and I tell my personal story, like, hey, I chose Livonia because and the area of Livonia I chose was right off 96 because my mom lives this way, my grandmother lives that way. Her school, she actually can catch the bus to the school. I'm like, I really thought about where I bought my house. So I want you to really think about it. So just advocating and being good to people. And honestly, like, I've never been an agent that made that cold call. I've never called for people that's trying to sell their house. I have not built my business on any of that. I've literally built my business on people, um on referrals, and following up, social media. Like, I am just that type of realtor. Like, I have one client and they'll send everybody in their family to me. I get another client. I have one client I always talk about because I always remember his name, and I'm really bad at names, Jimmy. His name is Joseph Stevenson, right? And he reached out to me to buy a house, and we've seen a lot of houses. And he also ultimate alpha male. If it was a speck of anything on a inspection report, he didn't want the house, right? So we went to a couple of houses, right? So he ended up settling. Found a really nice house. It was an older couple that owned the house. So it was immaculate how they kept it up. It was outdated. He didn't even care. He's like, oh no, this is clean. This house is really nice. Like, he loved it. But Joseph Stevenson was like a plant manager of one of the three big plants, the three auto plants. And when I tell you that, I'm still getting referrals from him. And he sent everybody in that plant to me. I literally probably have closed out of my career probably about 30 deals from Joseph.
Wow. Because you took care of that one person. You had
One
patience. You
person.
had patience with his pickiness over the inspection report.
Yeah. 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 And
Because
I mean, and they sent their, no, let me just say that. They sent their family to me. So it's just like, I just want agents to know that being good to people, it goes a long way.
mm,
It's more important than you following up or you cold calling, getting that great call at that one house. Cause that one house could be that one house, but that one client, I have one client, Jimmy, it's from Joseph. She bought an $80,000 house in Inkster, right? And it was a tough trying to find her house, and she bought it in a rough area. I'm like, you like this? She loved it. And I was like, okay, But and I also tell people, like, I always say I sell luxury at any part. I'm a luxury realtor at any price point. you'll get the luxury experience. Let me get my quote together.
Right.
Luxury experience at any price point because that $80,000 person sent me her niece who wanted to buy a $800,000 house.
Bingo.
Like, it's like I gave her a great experience and she gave me other, and then her friend wanted to buy a $500,000 house. So you treat people good at any price point. It goes such a long way.
Yeah.
It goes such a long
Yeah, and I really want people to like listen to that part, right? Just take care of people, right? And like you said, that $80,000 house turned into a 500,000 and an $800,000 sale, right? Like you
way.
close over $2 million of business off of that one sale, right? Which is again
Yeah.
that, but off of another referral because you just take care of people, right?
Yeah.
And I love that quote. You know, you get a luxury experience no matter the price point. Like that's
Mhm.
it's such a good thing to live by. And we get caught because a lot of the agents get caught up um, in this. Well, I don't want to deal with an $80,000 one. You know, it's going to be because
Mhm.
we all know they're typically tougher to close, right?
Yeah,
They're
they are.
typically tougher to work through because you disappeared off the screen again. But um, anything that is so tight financially makes it a lot harder to get to the closing table. But at the same point, at the end of the day, if you just take care of them like it is a $500,000 house, even if it is an $80,000 house, but they get the same experience, man, they're never gonna go to another realtor, right? They're never gonna call somebody else to say that they want a different real estate agent. They're never gonna do that, and and so that's the key. And I want everybody to make that a huge takeaway today. Of that's the thing you need to listen to is you just take care of people at a super high level, um, give them the client experience that they all want and need, and it will turn into multiple deals over years. I know that's one of the things that we've heard multiple guests on say our coaching call in the morning on 7:30, our breakfast club call. Like we've all heard that over and over again from other agents is just, get rid of the commission breath, just take care of people at a high level and everything else will take care of itself. Like if you take care of a client at a high level, you should get 4 to 5 deals out of it, right? You should get 4 to 5 referrals on it. Not right away, but over time, right? Every one you close, you should get 4 to 5 transactions back out of it if you're taking care of the client at a high level like you should. So that's a big, huge takeaway for everybody today. So as Danielle will be bopping back in here in a second, back on screen. But that's a huge takeaway, guys. And the other thing is too, I want when she gets back on, one of the things I want to talk about too is, she talked about taking care of rental clients, and a lot of agents that I know will say they don't want to take on rental clients, right? But like Danielle, you were talking about taking on rental clients, and how many of those rental clients that you took care of early have come back to you now and bought?
So let me say this. And I understand at a certain level of business, it's not conducive, right? Because you're so busy. And yes, I would love to help you, but I can't. Let me say this. How many of those people, because I advertised that I did rentals, and but I believe when you start off, it's cool. Because if nothing else, have that mindset that I'm not going to pay out of pocket for my fees. Like that was just it. And it just led to more money. So you start small. Like even when I first started selling houses, I said, if I could just sell one house a month, I'll be good. So I'm working to this one house a month and it ended up being five, but it'll be a three, it'll be a six, like, so start with a small goal. But the rental houses, not only did they come back to me, but it's how many people approach me and say, I want to buy a rental. And I'm like, well, what's your credit score? Okay, where you work? Oh, okay. I'm like, you can buy a house, right? Let's talk about how many people I flipped from coming to me for a rental to buying a house. Like you just open yourself up to that. And then also you're smart with it. Like I know a lot of people think rentals are a waste of time, but you are a real estate professional. So approach them, when they approach you about a rental, hey, okay, you would like to buy a rental, what's your price point? Okay. Well, do you have okay, how much do you make a month? You have your check stubs? Okay, what does it say on your check stubs? Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you will only qualify for a house this month, this amount. Okay, so when we're going to see houses, okay, hey, you want to go? I see you send me this house. You want to go see? The total move-in cost will be 5,500. Do you have 5,500 to go see the house? Like, get all the information up front so you're not running and wasting your time. You're not, hey, do you have your ID? Do you have a copy? Do you know your credit score? Well, go ahead and get you a free credit report and tell me what, let's know what's on it so I can know if you can go see it. So I think a lot of agents feel like they waste their time with them. But if you vet them before you take them out, then you won't. Yes, you may not everybody call your phone, you may not end up working with, but you might have a good two or three, and it's an easy, simple process. But I'm the type of person that I believe that as realtors, as we collect people, right? Even if I cannot help you, I'm going to have a conversation with you because what? A conversation is free. I'm not using gas. I'm not taking much time out my day, but I'm showing you that I care. How many people have I had conversations with that credit was not there? I mean, I have a full consult with them. Because guess what? I ain't doing nothing. I'm sitting here, especially if I'm not doing anything. All right, you want to talk about buying a house? Okay, this is what you need to do. Do you know your credit? Oh, I'm at a five something. Okay, listen. Credit is the easiest thing that you can fix. I need you to get with somebody. You may be able to fix it yourself. I said, or you can get with somebody to help you with credit repair. I said, but I want you to keep buying a house, keep the goal of buying a house in your minds. Call me. I want you to call, check up on me. I'm like, go to this person or XYZ. If I refer them, they find somebody. I said, check up on me. Let me know how your credit score is doing. Send me a text. I was like, I don't want you to feel like because you're not ready that I'm not open to help you. Always feel like you can call me or text me. And I get people text me. I had a lady, no lie. She called me to buy a house, but she had just filed bankruptcy. I said, hey, you're not going to be able to buy a house until it was like maybe a year later. I was like, but you'll be fine, XYZ, but still work on your credit because when you are out of it, credit is going to be important. She called me. She bought a house. Her brother ended up buying a house for me. Bought a really nice big house. But like you don't, people are not a waste. It's always a conversation. I done had people call me that are looking for houses. I mean, maybe for a rental. Let's get back to rentals.
Yeah.
For a rental, help them with the rental. Oh, but my uncle want to buy a house. Like I gave him your number, Danielle. I told him you was my bomb realtor. I only helped her with a rental. It was a cheap rental at that. But her uncle wants to buy a nice house.
Yep.
So I just want realtors to understand that nothing is a waste of time. We collect.
You dropped off again, Daniel. And I think it's like one of these things, like when it just is when there's powerful things about to happen, the internet can't take it and it drops her off. Oh man. Oh guys, again, this has just been pure gold this morning, and I want everybody to just hear and see it. And we'll see her when she comes back. But at the same point, guys, taking care of people at a very high level, like that's it. Like that's the highest thing. And then uh the highest thing. And to your point, Danielle, the rental thing, again, then it just brings in more business. Business creates business. That's it.
Mhm.
Business corrects business. And somebody just wrote in here too. I'll show you on the stream. Collect people. That's what we do. We collect people. I love it.
So, and another thing that I want to speak on is, a lot of people when we talk about our goals and things like that, I want to close 30 deals. I want to close 40 deals. I want to sell 8 million. I want to do 5 million, 3 million. I changed how many deals you want to do. How many people can you serve? It
Mm.
changes. It changes your whole direction. I want to serve 100 people this year. It's different than I want to close 100 deals. Don't that's I mean, it's more powerful. It's we are in the business of serving. Like, we are helping people. We are, change.
And I lost you on screen again. Yeah, I think the look, guys. The point is, we're going back to this, and we'll say it over and over again today on the show. But it's we're I want to help people, right? And this is one of the things that I always say when I talk about the favor script, right? If I ask for a favor, if I call a past client or my sphere, and I want to talk to somebody, and I want to what the script is this: if I call a sphere, if I call a friend, and I call in the favor script, The favor is this. Hey, listen, Mr. Bob Smith, I talk to you all the time. But hey, Bob, listen. I set some really high goals for myself this year. And one of the goals that I set for myself is that I want to help 100 people move in or out of a house this year. Do you know anyone that I can help? And that's how you ask for the referral, right? Do you know anybody that I can help, right? And again, past
Mhm.
clients, do you know anybody that I can help that had the same experience that you had with me? Is there anybody you know that I can help out and do the same thing for, right? So I'm asking for the favor. Can you do me a favor? Can you, do you know any families that I could help? I've set a high goal for myself this year of 100 families I want to help. And everybody,
Mhm.
people will go, sure, here's the name and number, call them. I think they were talking about moving, right? It just makes the conversation so much easier.
Mhm.
Yep.
You know,
Oh my gosh. Every Maxine said, "Be consistent," and we're consistent with some technical things this morning. I don't know what is going on. I've This has not happened before. Uh, so when she's coming back in, but no, guys, again, be consistent, right? Collect people, be consistent, um, all the things.
hello.
There you are.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, trying to get my messy bookshelf out the way. But let me just say this, and I don't want to misconstrue being consistent without being um a beast. You have to be. I like to call. I have an all female real estate team, so I like you got to be a pit bull in a skirt. You have to be aggressive. You have to be out there. You have to be willing to call and things like that. Like I'm a high D personality, right? So not only I want to help people, but I'm not afraid to get in front of somebody's face and say, "Hey, I'm a realtor. Hey, this is what I do." Like, or call or sit in the office and make phone calls, or if you comment on anything, I'm going to be in your inbox, right? So it's merging both of those personalities to say, "Hey, I'm here to serve, but hey, I'm here to work too," right? Um, One of the biggest things, like, with this, and I just want you to say, like, having this overall arching goal of just helping people, it still leads to being money. Just like saying, I want to close out my deal, it still leads to the same thing, right? But it also serves my purpose, right? And my purpose is to make income while making an impact, right? So I'm still serving my purpose, but I'm still making a great income. So from that, like, I started off, I think I'm gonna give my second year, my first real year of being in the business. I sold 3 million, right? I capped. I'm like, oh, okay. I got a award. I mean, they send you like a award thing in the mail. I mean, in the email, say you cap. I didn't know what capping was. I promise you. First time I capped. Because I still was working, so I wasn't really in the office. I wasn't,
Right,
I just was closing deals. Um, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of okay with this. But it was only because I took it serious, right?
right.
One thing about that, you only get what you put into it. So a lot of agents, oh, it's not working out in this business. I know why it's not working out. You don't put much time and effort in it every day. Like, this podcast is at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm in this office at 7 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's here. I know, my agents will come in, trickle in, but I've never changed my routine because when I was in corporate America and I was getting paid a paycheck, I had to be there at 7. I had to work to 9. I had to sit at the office. I had to sit at a desk. I had to fill out. We had a CRM system, right? So I didn't really switch much. I had to work in my CRM system. I had to update my CRM system. I had to call people from my CRM system. I had to set a calendar. I had to go out to my appointments with my clients and sit in their clinic and have a whole, consultation with them. So I never switched that up. So I always keep an office, even though we are EXP, the greatest brokerage ever in this cloud. You don't need a physical office. I always keep one. It's a space that I'm willing to pay for because I need I need somewhere physically that I can sit down. Um, and focus. Yes, I got an office at home. Yes, I got a computer at home. I got a nice desk. It's so cute. I can't get nothing done there. I'm gonna be honest. I get to washing clothes. I get to watching TV. I just got to do what works for you. And some people are excellent at working at home, and that's totally cool. But you got to do what works for you, right? I need this. I need to step away because at work, I mean, when I'm in the office, all I think about is real estate. When I'm at home, I want to focus on my daughter. I
Yeah.
want to focus on house stuff. I want to step away from it. Um, but one thing I want to stress: you will get out of real estate what you put into it.
Mm.
Please don't get misconstrued. If you're a person that laxy daisy, you come in the office sometimes, you make phone calls sometimes, you go see clients and you don't follow up, you're not gonna really get nothing. Being a team leader, one of the biggest things I stress is, hey, you have to follow up. Oh yeah, you took that person to see a house. Oh, they haven't called me yet. Why you ain't called them? Why, like I don't understand. If I have a person with active pre-approval, I'm calling them every day. I don't got to talk about going to see a house. Hey, good morning. How
Yeah.
are you? Because it's just my personality. If you're my friend, I'm gonna call you and say, hey, how are you doing? What are you up to? Things like that. Like you have to build a relationship. And that's another thing, how I get those referrals, because by the time you end up buying a house, one, you're going to be able to tell everybody else, because I'm going to break down every process to you. And it doesn't have to be during the consultation. Yeah, I went over that to consultation. No. Every time we go see a house, hey, you like this house, put it if we put in the offer, you got to put out an EMD. Oh, you know what EMD is, earnest money deposit. And you have to put out an earnest money deposit. It's like a good faith saying, hey, I'm really gonna buy your house. I'm just waiting on my mortgage, but this it's like money in the bank, and then it goes towards your closing. I'm repeating the process every time I show a house. And I train my agents that way. So it's never a great area. And you would get a couple of clients like, oh, I didn't know. Not with me, because I'm going to talk about it over and over. And it's going to be a part of the conversation. But also doing showing the house, I'm asking questions. After we seen a couple of houses, oh, how's the baby? How's the baby doing in school? Okay, this and this and this. Did your mom? How did you have fun at your mom's birthday? Because you couldn't see houses this weekend. I remember everything you're saying, because I'm really trying to build a relationship. It's not
Mm.
fake. It's not me being, a great salesman. It's being authentic. That's just how I am. Hey, we're working together. What's going on? Okay, this is how it works. Oh, girl, I seen Chrysler just came out with their profit sharing. How you feel about it? Like, it's just conversation. So I build a relationship. It's just me. Like, be authentic. Truly build a relationship. Don't just be a realtor. And you have to understand people too. Some clients, you have to be very straightforward. You have to be, hey, this is it. This is the facts. This is this. Some clients want you to break it down. You have to break it down to their level, for their level of understanding, and just, kind of give it in plain sense. Some clients, they want you to do all the work. But you still got to explain it to them. So just being able to read people, or just taking the time to kind of understand them, it will help you out more. And some clients are going to tell you every exact house they want to see. Some clients need a little help. You have to send them a couple of houses. Hey, you see this? I think this would really fit your criteria. It has the 3 bedrooms you want. It has the 2 bathrooms, XYZ. So getting out there, and being aggressive with still caring. Like you can do both. You can do both.
Yep.
You can be a pit bull. You can be, hey, this is what I need, blah, 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 blah. But you also can still be caring. And the biggest thing with real estate is being authentic. If you gotta fake it, if your client's not really rocking with you well, okay, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay to fire a client. It's okay. If you feel uncomfortable, like if you feel uncomfortable, if the client doesn't talk to you right, we have to be okay with it. I understand we are salesmen and we get paid. We don't have a set income and things like that. But you want to work with people that want to work with you. I can't be anybody but Danielle. If I'm not your cup of tea, I am not the realtor for you. And I am totally okay with that, because guess what? My only goal is to help people. And I want to, and if you don't feel like I'm helping you, or you feel like I'm not that person for you, it's perfectly okay. And I think a lot of realtors need to understand that, because they spin their wheel with these people and they're not serious, and then they be so mad when certain things. No, don't be mad.
I love
You
that.
just got to learn to let go when it's the correct time.
Yep. I love that. And let me ask you this, because
Okay.
the way you've built your business, do
Hmm.
you find probably, and I'm just guessing here, that you have less of that problem because the people you're attracting and the people that you're getting referrals from are the people that you've worked
Yeah.
with and have a good relationship with. So you
Yeah.
probably don't get that very often.
I don't. I had it 2 times. I had it as a female, and that's why I love Women Impact Network. But as a female, I had a guy who was very aggressive. Like, I mean, we're going to see this house. Like, I'm like, whoa, you scaring me. Like, and I didn't, and listen, it doesn't mean you got to give the money away. I referred him to a guy in the office,
Sure.
and I got a referral fee. So I still made money off him, but I didn't feel comfortable taking him out because the way he talked to me was so like, I'm like, okay, you're kind of scaring me. Like, what? It wasn't like I messed him up. I mean, did anything to piss him off. It was just his personality, and it was
Yep.
just too much to me. I had a client that recently that just was like, I just feel like I work with nothing. I don't know what I did. I didn't do anything. I mean, it's a personal thing, and it's okay.
Yep.
Be okay with that. Like it's okay. But that's two instances out of almost 10 years.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, so, and that's why I try to coach agents on all the time. Like, what you put out is what you get back. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
What the personality and the persona and what you're presenting on social media and what you present just
Yes.
here today is what you get back, right? So that's you're attracting people that will work with you and it works out better because that's what you do, right? There's not this fakeness, and you dropped off again, but there's not the fakeness. There's not this fake persona or this fake person of Danielle. You get Danielle's Danielle, right? Jimmy is Jimmy. Like that. This is what you get, right? When you want to go look for houses, this is what shows up, right? There's not something else that happens. There's not something different that goes on. This is what happens, and that's key. And again, that goes back to guys listening. As an agent or a salesperson, entrepreneur, when you take care of people at a high level and people refer you and you work off of referrals, when you treat people well and you're attracting like-minded people, people that know, like, and trust you, as they're referring you out, you're going to find less and less of people that you don't want to work with because they're all the same. Like, right, we always, you've heard me say this before, work with the 90%. The 90% people, right, the 90 percentile, that's the people I want to work with because those are the ones I know I can close deals with. Those are the ones that I enjoy being around. Those are the ones that I want to build connections with, that I want to build trust with, that I want to build business with. Those are the people that I want to do that with. And so very rarely it happens. Like you said, Danielle said it happened twice that somebody, it just didn't work out. And again, listen to what she said there. Doesn't mean you just give up on it. You just refer it out, right? You refer it out. And maybe there's somebody that they would mesh better with, right? And it's okay, right? It's okay. Refer them out. Don't just get rid of the client, right? Refer them to somebody else, right? Then you can explain to whoever you're referring it to, like, hey, listen, this is what happened. This is the situation we're in, and this is where it's at, right? Yeah, you're right, Al. Relationships. It's that simple. Service driven, not profit driven. So it's so true. In everything, in every business, and every entrepreneurial business, it's the same thing, right? It's be purpose driven, not profit driven, and it makes things so much easier. And then you get hit with this wealth of referrals and people that are going to keep giving you business, right? And so as Danielle's coming back in here, that's one of the things I want to talk about too, is as Danielle, that you're back.
Yeah.
Talk to me about.
So tired.
I know, right?
Jay.
I know. Tell me. But again, like
I'm back, guys.
this
I'm
is the
back,
this
guys.
is the real estate. I say this is the real estate, our superpower. We just keep going through, right?
Yeah, it's cool. Um,
But talk to me
but
about
I asked you,
the Women's Impact Network, right?
uh,
Inside of EXP, what you don't know is we have all these networks inside of EXP that some of us don't even know are there. And I know that's one of the things you wanted to get this Women's Impact Network out. Now we've got the regional rally coming up in May. You're going to be there
mhm,
on a panel talking about EXP1 and what all the things that are involved in it, and the military
mhm.
network, the Women's Impact Network. There's a whole bunch of others. But talk to me about the Women's Impact Network and how you got involved in that and where it's going.
Okay, so
Danielle, you bounced out again. uh, just as we're getting in it, but guys, for those of us that are inside of EXP, there's networks inside that are very big and impactful networks. We have to know about them, right? And that's one of the things I wanted to have Danielle on today, to talk about the Women's Impact Network, and then I'll let you talk about it now.
Okay, so let me get started if I get cut off. So the Women's Impact Network is something totally new. So it is a group, EXP1 group that is for women. We do enjoy our male allies. We actually had a guy that was on one of our podcasts, well, not podcast summits, um, this week, and he gave a great perspective. But the Women Impact Network was formed to help women navigate through real estate, home, life, everything you're going through. One thing I can say, and I just want to speak to the women that may be on this past on this podcast, as a realtor, right? We are not only a realtor, so when we run in a business, I run a team, I'm a top producer, I'm a single mom, I take care of my mother. We have a lot of moving pieces. So, and not to throw down my guys, but you guys may be married and you can come home and things are done. We have to come home, we have to cook dinner, we have to clean, we have to, then we also have the same amount of clients and we have all those things. But it's just a safe space where we can discuss that, where we can talk about leadership, where we can talk about home, life, family, dealing with different things. Like right now, we have a series we're doing on imposters. And if you guys are not familiar with it, I mean, we all heard of imposter syndrome, and maybe we haven't dwelled deep into it, but you didn't realize how much it plays a part into, how you present, how you show up, and how uncomfortable. Like, we did we did an exercise where we had to talk about all our accomplishments, right? So we have this wonderful speaker. Her name is Betsy Myers. She's an author. She's a speaker. She worked with the Obama administration. She's very profound, right? And this is the work she's working on right now. And we had to talk about all our accomplishments. Do you know how many women had trouble really listing their accomplishment because we kind of see like, well, I did sell this much, but my team helped me, or I have great. I mean, like everybody had a but to why they had this great accomplishment in their life. It was like somebody helped them, and then how she broke it down was that like, but if you were like some like a man was just saying, yeah, I did this, I sold 10 million, and I did this, and I had and I won this award, I was top producer with this, and I'm like, and it's like how we kind of deal with things. So Women's Impact Network, I absolutely love it. One reason that got me into it, it was, you definitely go on to talk about, how you can join the board. But one reason that really got me into it was because I have always been in a space where I've been lucky to have a woman as a mentor, that always put me up, like seen something in me and put me up. And it's been a lot in corporate more than real estate, but I've always, I mean, here, Danielle, I want you to apply for this job. Hey, you may not be qualified for this position, but I'm going to help you. I'm going to teach you. Like, and these are directors. These are people with, I'm at the time I didn't even have my bachelor's at, and they had masters. Like, oh no, you can do the same position because you got it. Like, and I just want to be the same person for people that are in real estate. And that's the same premise of why I started a team. It wasn't because, oh yeah, I'm a top producer, I'm supposed to start a team. That's the next thing. It was like, hey, I got so many clients. I'm already mentoring agents. Like the next step, I got it. I might as well, if I start a team, I don't have to mentor them separately. I can kind of do it all at once. It probably make it a little easier on me. And then also I can teach them how to really make money in real estate. Like it's a lot of people out here who are just spinning their wheels. They're not really making an income. Like, they're not really changing. Like, it's no way I'd be doing real estate if I made less than what I was making in corporate America. It's not, even if I was making the same thing, I wouldn't do it. I had to double it.
Mm,
It has to make sense. If I'm
yeah.
working for myself, it has to make sense. You know, um, I don't, since I've been full time, I've never made less than six figures. I always made, upwards. So and in my mind, I wanted to start a team where everybody makes six figures. I wanted to turn these agents to six. Like, okay, you may have never had a job that paid you over 50,000. I'm about to teach you how to work for yourself and make 100,000. So, I mean, all of that comes into, why I'm on a board for it, why I'm so involved in it, why I think it's such a great place. I think that, women at EXP, we all deal with different, and it is so great, Jimmy. It's like, it's people. I mean, we have Canada.
You dropped off again. um, she's right though, and if you guys want to know more about it, obviously Danielle's going to come back in here in a second as soon as she pops back in. But yeah, so the network is huge, and like the rallies for those of you that are outside of Michigan, right? All the rallies are coming up, and there will be representation from some of the boards at the rallies, and they're always looking for more people to get involved in these groups. So, the Women's Impact Network is a big part of it. The military network is a big part of it. I know Sherry, who watches the show, she's on the board for the military network, and they'll be represented at the rallies too. So these rallies, the regional rallies that are coming up, it's very important to get out and meet who's there, to find out what it is and what they offer, because it is. Look, she talked about imposter syndrome. We all deal with it. Like, and for those of you that know that, I've been married for 25 years. I I I I I understand, um I understand what the difference between like what men deal with, and I've been talking about that a lot recently. Our health issues that we don't talk about, things that men we're not supposed to talk about. We're supposed to just deal with it. But then the women, there's a lot that we all deal with in different ways, and it goes back to like how can we support one another, and it's through these groups and these boards and everything else that this support comes together, and it's so needed, um, because we are business owners, right? If you're a solo agent out there, you own a business, right? I tell agents this all the time when I coach agents. You are a business owner. As soon as you get your real estate license, you own a business. It's hard, right? We talk about, how much money can I make, and this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, it's expensive. I've got board dues. I've got this fee. I've got that fee. Depending on where you're at, like I've got desk fees. I've got, uh, you know, broker dues. I've got all the things, right? Plus, then, well, I want to do advertising. I want to do mailers. I want to do, all signs. Think about all the money that just goes out, right? And that without that support of like this Women's Impact Network, the military network, without the support of all these networks, it's really hard. And what we do is difficult. It's not easy. There you are.
Hey. So the Women's Impact Network is a great network. They said they did a study that it's about 40% of EXP agents actually join workplace or active in workplace.
Yeah.
Um, I want to push you guys just to get active in workplace. I mean, you guys are missing referrals. You are missing um, great educational opportunities. It's speakers from all over that, like even us, we're getting great speakers to come in and talk to you guys, and help you out in your business. Like, besides just talking about all around care for women, we're talking about leadership. Like, how can you step up as a leader, how to build your team, things that you can grow and grow your business. Like, EXP gives a lot of knowledge, and I just hate that so many agents don't really take advantage of it. So, if nothing else, guys, get active in workplace, right? Get active. You're gonna find your group. You're gonna find your, it may be it's so many different groups, right? It may be one that speaks to you a little bit more. It's young entrepreneurs. I mean, young can't think of the correct name, but it's for young people in business, and they do so much fun. They do so much fun activities, and it kind of goes up in age group. They kind of accept everybody, but they do a lot of fun stuff. So that might be your group. It may not be when, but if you're a woman in EXP, I highly recommend that you join WIN. It's Women's Impact Network, on Workplace. I promise you enjoy it. You will enjoy it. It's the newest group. We actually, and then one thing about our group that sets us apart is that it is for employees to join. So I've been working with the employees of EXP to get them to come on. I've been talking to our broker, and things like that, like trying to get them to come on and join us, because it is the one group that is want employees in it, because we have a lot of women employees too, just like realtors. Um, so I mean, it's a great group, and I think it's something different than what we experienced. Like the summit, we had a summit last year in August, and I said it was the best summit, best real estate conference I've ever been to. You know why? I've been to a lot, and it's always about education, how to produce, how to grow your business, how to produce XYZ. It talked about how to navigate life as a realtor.
Mm.
It blew my mind. It was these extraordinary leaders, these $1 million agents on stage crying. or telling their personal story, or like, what, you went through that? Or I was depressed. Oh, my husband passed away. Like, it was like, oh, I felt seen. And it wasn't just a person like we think we deal with things ourselves when really it's not just to us. It's things that everybody deals with. We live in our own heads when we really have people that, we can get together and have a little powwow and push and go forward. So it's a great group. And I know I'm super passionate about it because I really know that it's going to go a very long way. And the people that do participate, they absolutely love it. We get rave reviews. We just had a series on Tuesday, and we have people in the chat box just chatting us and talking about it and going further into the conversation. But that's great. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's great, and I think it is. I think it's one of those things too, right? Like, I've had agents that have like left EXP, right?
Mhm.
And they come back to me and they're like, well, so the other wherever they're at, they have this thing. I'm like, we have that already, right? Like we are, and
Mhm.
it's on us, like as leaders and as people in EXP that love it, is to show everybody what we have, because I think we miss a lot of things, right? Because there is so much information out there. But if anybody heard anything what Danielle said, go into workplace and just start messing around in workplace and
Yeah.
see all the things that are in there.
And guys, understand this. This is your business, right? This is the industry you choose to be in. Don't let it take for somebody else to tell you about this information. If you're a part of EXP, I went, and when I joined EXP, I went to everything they said, that welcome email. I clicked on everything. I searched everything because that's the type of person I am. I want to research everything I'm a part of. I want to know everything. And of course, it's a lot. It's a lot to go through workplace. So you're going to miss some things. But guess what? I joined the Michigan State Group. So guess what I know? If nothing else, I knew when I first started everything that went on with Michigan.
Yep.
Like, it's some people that don't even know about the Michigan State meetings or don't know about little things that Michigan do. And I know everything. I knew everything as a new agent. Because I investigate. And that's the same thing, because if you it's the same thing with business. Like, you gotta learn. You gotta reach out. You gotta see what's going on in this industry. You can't, yes, you know how to sell a house, you know how to fill out a PA, you know how to negotiate a deal. But what else? What's gonna take you further? And that's why it separates the, people that just sell real estate to the people who has a real estate business and are able to grow and scale each year. If you want to grow and scale each year, you gotta tap in. You gotta get the information. Um, just even with being with EXP, I remember my first year going to EXP Con. I actually, what was it called, Jim? When if you got so many people to sign up under you, got to go to like a special event
Oh,
um,
yeah. Oh, shoot.
every like quarter or
Yeah.
something. Regardless, it was this special event for people that, it was like a recruitment. And I went to this event, and this, so it used to be at like different areas, but this so happened to be at EXP Con, just a special like a little breakfast or something they had. And going to that event or just tapping in, I it was the first time I met or heard Elizabeth Riley speak, and just talking to her, and like everything she said just changed my mind.
Yeah.
It changed my mindset. Like, we are so stuck in whatever city we're from, and we only know the realtors and how people do real estate. Because this we only know who we are around. It changed my mindset. It made me think higher. I was doing really good. I was an icon, and sold a lot. But it was like, oh, I didn't think about that. Like, it was so many things that changed my mind about how to expand. Like, oh yeah, I do need a team. Oh yeah, I do need to think about doing marketing and my branding and things like that. Because I was just real estate, and
Yeah.
I'm an EXP. Here's my card. I didn't even have a professional picture. Like, it made me level up. So definitely take advantage.
Well,
Take advantage.
that level up thing is important, because now that it's who you surround yourself with matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you get in those rooms with an Elizabeth Riley, right, it does. It changes your mindset a little bit. You're like, whoa, I can do that too, right? Like
Yeah.
I can do that same
Mm-hmm.
exact thing, right? Yeah, it's all available. But it's sharpening that sword, right? And iron sharpens iron. So when you get in those rooms, like that's the advantage, and that's one of the things that that I keep telling people, like, get in the room, have the conversation. And one of the things you brought up, like, is EXPCon, or when we used to have shareholders or EXPCon, right? Um,
Yeah.
but at the same point, like when you're at those things, and I spoke about this at Build last year too. One of the things I talked about at Build was Like if you're in an event and you see a speaker that really just like resonates with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Find them right after
Mm-hmm.
they're done. Find them at that event and talk to them. Have a
Yeah.
conversation because there's a reason that it touched you, right? There's a reason
Mm-hmm.
that it landed on you. Just like you said with Elizabeth, right? Like so then how many
Yeah.
conversations have you had with her after that?
A lot. She's the one who started the board.
Right? So you took the you were like, "Oh, I want to get close to that.
Yeah.
That's what I want to build, right?"
Yeah. Or
It's
if
a
I see she's speaking somewhere, I'm going. Or if it's an EXP Con event, she has, I'm going. I
yep,
want to hear what she got to say.
100%. 100%.
Mhm.
And now you're on the board of the Women's Impact Network. Now, are there other board members in Michigan? Are you the only board member in Michigan or
I am the only board member in Michigan.
okay. Yeah, but what a wonderful group, right? And we have some powerful women in
Mhm.
not only just in EX but in Michigan. Like we got some
Yeah.
powerful women in
Yeah.
Michigan.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful network, and I'm excited. Like I said, our regional rally is coming up May 6th. You're going
Yeah.
to be there on a panel and talking about the Women's Impact Network, and we're working on some stuff with EXP to have more of this out at the regional rallies too. So the EXP one is going to be huge for us to get out to everybody at these regional rallies.
Yeah.
So we've got about 4 minutes left.
Okay.
If we can hold you on for the next 4 minutes. but
Right.
but if you like you and you again you're building right now, you're building a team, you're building all these things, right? What's your advice to newer agents? Like what's the thing that you're telling newer agents right now about our market? We NAR's telling us it was the slowest market in 35 years last year. What are you telling new agents right now?
Quiet the noise. Do the work. Quiet the noise. They said the same thing when I first got my license. It's hard. It's this, that. I mean, I've seen the market switch 1,000 times. The people that put the work in is going to sell regardless.
Mm,
We're not going to see a difference. Yeah, it may be harder. It may be, whatever, but you have to quiet the noise. You have to think positive. Mindset is everything. Please, new agents, I just want you to know mindset is everything. I've never had a day that I say, oh, I'm not going to get a client. I'm not going to be successful. I always say, okay, I could lose a client. I could lose the deal, go crazy. All right, let me go get another client. That's my mindset. I'm always thinking what can happen, what can change. I tell my agents all the time. Oh, well, I'm like, you got any new clients? This is no, I'm having a tough time. Everybody not, no, they're not. I'm following up with everybody. They didn't get the pre-approved. I say, you can get a call today and change everything you just said. One call. I said it takes one call, one action. We work in that type of business where anything could come. You could get a person that want to. Oh, I don't have any closings for this month. Everything's gonna close next month. You get a cash deal that closes in a week. But you have to have that mindset. You have to have that gumption to keep calling, to keep working, to keep putting your name out there everywhere you go. And I'm not saying to be in somebody's face and say, "Hey, I'm a realtor," but everywhere you go, you collect people. You give your card out. You let them know. You talk to people. You be friendly. Sometimes, most of the time when I talk to people out, they ask me what I do for a living. I don't have to tell them. I have a conversation with them, and they ask me what I do, so then I can talk to them. Oh, you let me get your card. I'm not giving them a card. They asked me for it. So stay positive. Put the work in. Real estate is only what you put in it. You only get it out what you put in it. Understand that and believe that you can be successful. If you believe it, you can achieve it. I know it sounds cliche, but it's really true. Everything is mindset. You can do it. You can be successful and have confidence. I know you don't know everything, but be confident that you're going to help this person. Be confident that you're a good person, that you mean well. Be confident in that you're going to research everything that you don't understand. You're going to research it for them and come back with that information. Be confident in that. Um, and don't be afraid to let people know who you are. Social media is the key. I grew my business on social media. And it don't have to be fancy. You don't have to be TikTok.
I know. I said not too long ago. My youngest son is 13, and he's like, "Dad, my friends are watching your TikTok videos." I'm like, "Well, because you got a cool dad. That's why."
If you're not that, like, it's a lane for everybody. It's some extroverts that do so well in real estate, and it's some introverts that don't, that do great.
Yeah.
So find your lane, which way you got to do it. If you don't like social media, then you need to be in person. You need to go to every event, everything. So find your lane and excel. Or you need to be cold calling. Maybe that's the better. That's your thing. I know people that are super successful. All they do is cold call. So find your lane. So many different ways to be successful. Know that you can do it. Know that I'm rooting for you. I am the type of realtor. I don't care what level of business. If you're on somebody else's team, you're on somebody else's downline, you can call me and ask me a question.
I love it. And
Please. I love
where can everybody
realtors.
find you?
So my social media is Danielle Sales Detroit. My team is the DanielleCollective.com. Social media, Danielle Dunham. Pretty simple all across the board. I have an office located in Southfield, Michigan, in the center of it all. You are more than welcome to come up. It's kind of like a co-working space. Just like I said, I need an office, guys. Um, and you can reach me on Workplace, Danielle Dunham, Facebook, whatever. You guys feel free to call me. Give me a call. If you have more questions, I'm always here to help. Um, I take referrals too if
I
you're in
love it.
this area.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you very much for joining me this morning. We got through it.
Yes.
We got through it. We did our thing and got through it. So, Danielle, I appreciate it. And she dropped off. So, perfect timing. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us on the Elite Real Estate Podcast, KGCI Radio. We'll let you guys go too, but done live streaming. Again, join us next Friday at 7:30. We'll be back every Friday at 7:30. KGCI Radio, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the places. See you guys next week.